Our target for today has to do with producing a narrative, which is something we've just kind of started working on. Our target is to organize a well structured event sequence that unfolds naturally and logically. And I know some of us, when we're writing, we just kind of start at the beginning and see where the writing takes us. But when we're writing for class or school, if we have a deadline, we have to be a little bit more strategic about it. We have to plan out what our story is going to look like to make sure that we can get it done in time. So, what I'm giving you today is a tool to help you organize your story and make sure that you have all those important actions and details in your story and that it's a complete story without going too long. So if you look at the graphic organizer that I have on the board, the middle column is to write your big actions, so those scenes that you need in the story to have it make sense. The column on the right is for your details, those other little important things that you still need to include. And then the column on the left is for transitions, so we can see how much time passes between each event. We're not going to look at transitions today. Today we're focusing on action and possibly putting some of those details in the story. So I am using my story on the black cat, which I told you guys about. It's going to be about a girl, and yesterday we figured out that her name was going to be Brittany. And Brittany is very superstitious. She sees this black cat and she thinks it's giving her bad luck. 3 times she sees it. Each time something bad really happens until the last time when she realizes that the cat was saving her the whole time. So she learns something different throughout the course of the story, and that's the twist at the end. So in order to start, what I want to do is I want to think about where I'm going to end the story. And I've already told you I know the end of the story is going to be she's going to discover that the cat saves her. So that's what I'm going to put. The cat is going to save her from a burning house. Also in that scene, this is where I would wrap anything up, but I'll come back to that. So I already kind of know that the cat is going to wake her up, and so I'm going to include the action for that scene next. Brittany wakes up with the cat on her chest. Any other details, more specific, like staring down at her, I would put in the detail box, so I'm not going to do that yet. Brittany screams and jumps up, noticing the smoke in the house. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. She is also going to, at that time, I don't have to include this detail, but I'm thinking about it right now, so I'm going to write it in there. Brittany will get her parents out of their bed too and save them. Okay, so now that I know how it ends, I want to go to the beginning, because I kind of know where I want to start the story. I want to start the story with Brittany walking home from school. We know that she's all alone. We've already talked about how she's new to the school. She doesn't have a lot of friends yet. When she sees this black cat. I probably want to put something about her as she sees it. She thinks about her grandma and how her grandma taught her to be superstitious. And I also want to include how fearful she is. So next I have to have this event happen that you see that the cat could be possibly dangerous. So when Brittany stops and waits for the cat to go away, A branch falls down in front of her, almost landing on her. That's the action. That's the big thing that happens in the scene. Some of the details could be she thinks it is the cat's fault. She is afraid. Okay, the next action is there needs to be some other event. So the next thing she's going to do, she'll go home, some things will happen, time will pass, and then she's going to go to the football game. I think I'm going to add here as a detail, she doesn't tell her parents. So when she goes to the football game, I want to include some of those details about her as a character. We know she doesn't have a lot of friends. Well, actually, she doesn't really have any because she's new to the school. She lives near the football field and figures she might see someone from class. She takes a different route to avoid the cat. And I also want to add another detail about her being superstitious. So I'm going to say she doesn't step on one crack the entire way. So if you notice all these details, I'm including stuff about her as a character, but I'm also including stuff to go along with the plot. Once she's at the football game, she sees a cat run across the field. Brittany leaves her spot on the bleachers to get a closer look. And where she's sitting on the bleachers collapses. So that's the action. Some of the details. Someone yells, "Hey, is that a cat on the field?" to get her attention. She is terrified, but wants to see if it is the same cat. A few people are injured in the end. And then we get back to the end again. That night, maybe Brittany wakes up with the cat on her chest. She screams, jumps up, and notices the smoke. But then she gets her parents out of the house. The cat saves Brittany from the burning house. And I'm thinking it might be nice because she is so lonely if she ends up then keeps the cat as a pet, maybe even names the cat Lucky. Alright, now I have my complete plan. The next thing I have to do is figure out how much time is going to pass. There's not going to be a lot of time passing, and we already know that it's going to take place in the fall because there's a football game going on. And then after that, I just have to start putting everything together. Now it's your turn to try in your group. You guys are going to create the story to go along with the character that you guys started to develop on Monday. Good luck.